Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I sound a little different this morning, mainly because it is morning and I literally just like rolled out of bed and then I was all like, it is Friday. I will be um working, and usually like I do these in between lunch, but then it's like I'm not gonna be able to. Well, I could be able to come back for lunch and everything. But I guess today I wanted to do a repass on competitive analysis, which is where I've been doing some of my research for my not my BSG, um, for my business plan, like going forward, trying to figure out what are card shops like the competitive players in the market, both primary and secondary, and how that is determined, or how I determined that for my situation in particular. Um, I've been playing around with the Southern Oregon Card Emporium, and basically I got to the point where I fixed myself on a location, which is gonna be here in Medford. Um, if you're a local, at least, I don't know if it matters really. But the point is that I'm planning to make my fake business, quote unquote, um, where Stanton Optical is. And if you know the area, you'll know like mentally, like it's right next to a Starbucks, but it's also in a growing market center. But um, and so the numbers, I don't know if they're going to be completely accurate, but we can run them as though they were on the opposite side of the of Ross Lee's road, where you have the market center, where Trader Joe's is, where Chipotle used to be, Dick's Trading Goods, um, uh, sports goods and stuff. Um, because there are some buildings there, the only difficulty in understanding whether or not this might be able to transfer to the other side of the road is that the other side of the road now has Chick-fil-A. It also has an easier way to drive in, whether you're coming from the north side, through Central Point, or if you're coming from the east and Eastern Medford coming up north, or literally it's a four-way cross. If you're coming from the I-5 easy way on, like you're literally just gonna get off the I-5 exit, you're gonna be able to go straight and then turn right. You might intersect with the Chick-fil-A line, but outside of that, you'll be able to drive straight through, and then park in the Starbucks slash Stanton Optical parking lot. Um, and if not, there is a growing amount of parking spaces due to the fact that there is a popular restaurant within the area. And so it not only offers an easy way in from multiple sides, so it allows for a market living um 10, 15, 30 miles away in any direction to find an easy way into this one area. So all of this considered, um, it's additionally in an area that's going to be able to provide food. And this is something that's important for players who come from out of town, who come in for a league challenge or league cup type event, pre-releases, or even local players at tournaments, that normally have to worry, like, you know what, like, yeah, I'm coming to league, but then after this I have to worry about where I'm going to go for food because I still have to drive out. And so it limits the amount of time, granted by a small degree, but it limits it by a small degree to be like, you know what, I might not want to go to this league, because it goes on pretty late and then I still have to figure out dinner. And so it creates those inconsistencies in people's times, especially those with children as well, since children have to eat. And so I took that into consideration and I picked a location that would be right next to the Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Five Guys, Jamba Juice. Literally, it's a food center, outside of, I guess, dentistry and Chipotle now. Oh, there's Chipotle now too, and a gas station. Anything you could think of that might be useful, it's in this center. And then if you want a grocery store, Trader Joe's is across the road. So fun. Um, I sound sick. I should still work. Actually, I'm not sick. Again, I'm dehydrated, if anything. I have some of this. Is it back? No, kind of. Midway. Um, but yeah, so I took this into consideration where I could offer these things as my strengths, as the location is able to offer, that easy access for everyone, and so people don't have to struggle to get in. And then lastly, I took into account the fact that the closest store where you could be able to get Pokemon cards from that circle area might be the mall. And granted, the mall is a popular place, but it's very, like I said, it's very popular, it's very full, it's very hard to get into. And then if you want to be able to find your store, you know, you have to go through all of these additional areas, which might be nice. It might be the goal. And past that, within the 5 miles is also a Target. So granted, there are big box retailers, but something that you'll notice within this theme, which is also where I'm going to go next, is a part of my competitive analysis that takes into consideration big box retailers as well as similar stores to myself. So big box retailers are among the secondary class of competition that exists around me, or at least that I'm considering, because they are able to offer the trading card game, whether at retail or discounted costs, because they don't suffer as much from the price cuts necessarily, because they have other items within their stores that are, you know, leading those profit margins. Like, I'm pretty sure the difference in margin within a washer, a TV, a video game console is much different than that of a TCG individual set. And so something to consider is that they will be able to offer these things. And so if someone wanted to make an easy purchase while also getting their TV, they are taking, you know, a market segmentation of buyers that will want to choose the big box store for their trading card purchases if it's also just as convenient to get whatever else they're planning to get. And so I have to account for the fact that I'm going to be losing part of my market to these businesses, the same way that I've gone to Target, the same way that I've gone to Walmart, or say any other store looking for a particular set, just because they do sell the sets themselves. So that's part of the competitive analysis. Another portion was considering stores that were local trading card game stores that also sold Pokemon cards and the like. And within the area, there's actually been a growing population of them, which I wasn't fully aware of until I started to pay attention to it again. So I'll go through some of the cities, but in Ashland, Oregon, there's Fun Again Games, which has been a store that has been there since, honestly, I started going to college here. So that was like 2013, 2014. Although past, you know, going into the past, their shopping center used to be in the area where the Dutch Bros and the movie theater was, or I think that's the movie theater, and the Wendy's. This area wasn't very trafficked as far as I remember. I know that people would go to the Dutch Bros, but every time that you'd pass around Fun Again Games, there wasn't much traffic. And so, I was always surprised on how they were able to grow, especially because there was a comparable store at the time, and I forgot that store's name. I have a video game. Yeah, I'm gonna go look for it. It's on the ground. Darn, it doesn't say. This is like the last game I got from that store, which was Poke Park for the Wii, back when I had a Wii, and now I don't, and I never actually really got to play this. I think I popped it in once and then never got to enjoy it again. But yeah, so Fun Again Games then eventually ended up moving into the downtown area of Ashland, and that is where, if you know Ashland, Oregon is fueled by tourism sales, because not everyone, but the majority of the people who come to visit Ashland, Oregon are there for the Oregon Shakespeare Festival and or any of the other tourist type things that Ashland's able to offer, like the springs. We have Mount Ashland nearby. The hiking trails, they are everywhere and they're beautiful here in Ashland. So those are things to consider. But basically they have their almost exclusive market share, because unless, in my mind at least, as a first person in the scenario where I get to choose to go there, I would only really go to Fun Again Games if I was going to be in Ashland all day, if I wasn't going to be able to go into the big city, because that is literally one of the only places that you can go and play. So that's the thing that really makes them special in the entirety of Ashland, because you might be able to find Pokemon packs at More Fun, which is a comic book store, which another fun story there, but it's a comic book store that doesn't offer any play space. If anything, it's kind of small up there. You go into the block where it's at, and you'll see their logo on a sign on the second floor of a building, because they're almost like a secret spot, where you go up the stairs and you go in, and all you see is a series of comics and